Praise the Lord, everybody. Praise the Lord. I'm starting off wrong already because I've just been talking to my guests. I am Stephen Williams. They call me the Good Bishop, and ain't nobody good but our God. Thank you for joining me for Behind the Veil. Listen, last Tuesday it was off the chain. This Tuesday it's going to be great. I'm talking to a soldier and his and her story. We're going to talk about him because we got two different soldiers that's happening right here. One of them just church soldier, and then the other one is a church and a government soldier. And so we gonna talk tonight. Join us. Please share. Thank you for joining me behind the veil. Y'all know we have a great time. I'm doing what I always do. We're going to do our song of the week, and then I'm gonna come back. This is one of the songs off of my Good Ground project. This happened on the Good Ground project, and I hadn't heard this song in a while, and I didn't do anything great on it. I don't think it's good as Rhonda and stuff like that, but you know, the Lord will make a way. I got to do better about my... What's up, Big Cannon? Big Cannon, we're going to have to put up our knitting class. We can't have no more knitting class because the Cowboys keep winning. Frida, Cowboys keep winning, so we can't have no class. Good evening to all y'all, Charlene. Listen, this is our song of the week. It's got What an Awesome God We Serve. Y'all check this out. This is on the Good Ground project, and it was fun doing it. I did it in the house. Rhonda, I did this song in my house and mixed and mastered it in my house. Yes, this happened at the crib. I had one guy play it, and then I did all the other stuff. I'm gonna do it, Charlene. Oh man, y'all can't hear it? Y'all can't hear it yet. I can fix that. Oh well. It is jamming over here on my end. Oh well. I can't hear it. It is jamming over here on my... So we gonna turn it off, because I don't want to have nothing else to do with that. It was a great song. Going on there to God, what an awesome God we serve. It's on the Good Ground project. Frida, I'm not sure how we gonna what we gonna do today. We be showing out so bad on Behind the Veil. I can't show out tonight because I actually have guests. Hey, y'all. Hey, Kedrick, Cannon, just barely. No, can't hear. I see all of it. Can't. Thank y'all for sharing with me. Technical difficulties. And so here we go. I have guests tonight. They're world travel. They were in Germany for a minute. They are now in Charlottesville. Virginia, uh, you, Cannon, don't start. Don't start messing up. Don't look. You have the CD. Yes, thank you so much, Charlene. You got the CD. So check out the song "Awesome God." It's a good song on there. I did it at the crib, and I have to let Ron and them hear it another way. Cynthia, I didn't see you at the concert. I don't know if you came or not. But anyway, all that. I have a guest tonight. I have a couple guests. They on here, and hopefully we won't have any sound challenges. But I made it tonight for a story of the soldier and his story. That's what I kind of titled it. And I want to talk about this young man with a Arabic name. He's like me. I did my ancestry.com and I'm 6% Irish. So you're looking at a black leprechaun. Here I am, the bishop, the black leprechaun. And I will be leading the St. Patty's Day parade next year. Oh, God. Y'all, I'm tired. I'll be leading the St. Patty's Day parade next year because I'm 6% Irish. And so my queen just died just a couple of weeks ago. Queen Elizabeth, she's gone. Listen, I have the privilege of having the Alstons. I think I got all that right. I got everybody's name right and all that good stuff. And would you all welcome, please, Rhonda? Uh-oh, did I unmute y'all? Did y'all mute yourself? I'm adding y'all. Let me see if I can add y'all. I need to add y'all to the stream. Let me see what's going on. I got y'all on mute. I need to unmute y'all. Can't unmute your guests because they chose to mute themselves.
We didn't unmute ourselves.
Y'all, they mute. Charlotte, you gonna get the hat. Okay. I will be leading. I'm the black leprechaun is what I'm gonna have. I will be leading the St. Patty's Day parade.
Yes. Also, shoes and everything.
Welcome. Yes, Frida. See, you good, Frida. Welcome. Y'all welcome the people to Behind the Veil.
Thank you. Thank
Thank y'all so much. Y'all, I have the privilege of having tonight Deraje and Rhonda Alston. And they are a couple that I've known Rhonda seemed like forever and a day. Yeah. And then Deraje, Prince came in and took her. the Prince came and took her and started making her travel around the world. I like us better like that. I get to see you all. Yeah. And so I thank you all. First of all, thank you so much for joining me behind the veil. They don't know this side of the bishop, y'all. So y'all, please, y'all act right.
Right. Just like she does.
Yes.
Hey, Beverly. Yeah, and so we have these two young people on here. They are relatively young. And I wanted to talk about, so let me set the stage just a little bit. I know it, Cynthia. Let me set the stage just a little bit. I do know he is in the armed forces. I do not know what branch. What branch are you in?
Army.
He's in the Army now.
Yes.
Donna, my famous friend. Hey, everybody. Thank you for being in here. They are absolute. She has a wonderful YouTube channel that I absolutely love. And so I know he was in the Army. And Rhonda I met at Rescue Temple number 1 many moons ago. We did a whole lot of singing and worshiping and praising, worshiping and falling out and dancing and crying and all that good stuff. She got saved over there real good and sanctified. The Lord did it. The,
Okay.
Good
the,
time. I was
the
there
Lord.
for 16 years. 16 years.
When you said that, I was like 16 years.
Yeah. 16 years.
Wow.
Yeah. Since
And
college.
so I'm so we rekindled. They came back into the states for in July,
Yeah.
July 4th, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, one of those things for, and they told us they were back in the states, so I had to get them on, and just to talk about their journey and how they have connected, and I'll cut the echo out, and how they have connected and done all that wonderful stuff. And so really am excited to have you guys here tonight. So tell me, you are a lifer in the Army. Did you go right out of high school? How did that work?
So I joined actually after college. So I joined later. I didn't join right out of high school. I went to college first and graduated from Elizabeth City State University in North Carolina. Yep, graduated bachelor's degree in music, and then that December of 2014, I enlisted. So I was 27, going on 20, just turned 28 really, when I joined the army. And so I didn't join right out of high school like a lot of my friends did.
What made you
And,
want to do that?
to have really stability in my life. I come from a small town, Goldsboro, North Carolina, and really there was not a whole lot there. Like, and a lot of people that are there, they're either working, to make ends meet, or they're doing other things to get them and staying in trouble. And so, and I love it there. My family and everybody is there, and I always love Goldsboro, but I realized for me that I didn't want to live that kind of lifestyle where I'm always struggling to make ends meet, or I'm doing this type of job or doing this type of work just to make ends meet. Even though I'm accustomed to it, my mom did it. I grew up in a single parent household, so I watched her work 2 or 3 jobs to provide for me, and I'm forever grateful for that. And she instilled that in me, the value of work and to be honest and all of these good things. But I knew that when I grew up, and she even offered me, she sat me down one day, she said, Roger, you don't have to leave, but you can stay here and just help around the house and everything. You don't have to get out. And immediately when she said that, I said, thank you, Mom, but I want to make a life of my own. That's not how you raised me. You didn't raise me to be up under your roof. And even though she was totally fine with it, I did not want that for me. I wanted to have something on my own as a man and as a man of God, just to really have something on my own. And so, and not knowing that that was going to be the army, but out of everything else, like of doing, like even I had my, like I said, I had my degree in music, teaching around that area. The pay was really low. It was too low. It was extremely too low, and so I couldn't see myself doing that and in that area. And so that's when I looked to the armed forces, because my grandfather, he served in the Air Force for 4 years. One of my
Okay.
uncles, he served the Army for 4 years. My stepdad, he served for 5 years, I believe he did. So it was in my genes to be a part of the military. And so when I looked into it, and I was like, okay, this is what I'm going to do, because this is what's going to provide me stability so that I can have and this was way before Rhonda. I just wanted to be stable for myself, to to be an independent man, black man at that. Going into
Right.
this world, so I can be stable, to have a wife, and to and one day to have children as well. So
Well, that is good. Look, I know Goldsboro. I've been down there, got a few friends that came to, I graduated from Winston-Salem State. And so I had a whole bunch of friends from down there in Goldsboro, and I used to go down there and sing, all that
mhm.
good stuff. And so that is great. That's a story in and of itself.
Yes, sir.
It is. I have two real regrets in life.
Mm.
One of them was not joining the armed forces.
Mhm.
They right when I got out of high school, they were sending people to Desert Storm, I think
Mhm.
it was,
Mhm.
and they were immediately sending them after basic. After basic, they had to go over to thing, and
Mhm.
I knew right then. Uh, the only thing I had shot was a pig or a squirrel or something
Right,
like that. You wasn't getting ready to put no gun in my hand after no
right,
6 weeks. I wasn't going nowhere,
right.
and so I snuck right on out. I said, I ain't gonna be able to do this. May the Lord.
I understand. And for me, when I could have joined after high school, that was during Afghanistan. You know, after 9/11, everybody was going
Yeah,
Afghanistan. So for me in 2006, everybody they were sending everybody to Afghanistan, Iraq. That was after their basic training. They was going straight over there, and I was like, I don't think I'm quite ready for that life yet. So let me let me go the college route. So I definitely understand how you feel. So
yeah, I wasn't ready to shoot nobody, and I wasn't. And then back then I thought I was Rambo, so I'd have killed everybody.
You would have tried.
right.
Can you
I just be shooting. Shoot everybody. Be like, I heard a movement over there.
Right.
My captain will be dead. So that is, and so why music? Boy, this is getting ready to get funny. So what in the world is going on with music? Now you talking about you have a whole degree,
Yeah.
like theory,
Yes.
and diminished sixths and sevenths
Yeah.
and all that. And what the world? Does he have
So
perfect pitch?
Yes.
I say I have relatives. She calls it
And
perfect, but
I walk in her house singing. He's like, and then he'll come in and start singing. I was like, oh, I'm in the wrong key. I'm in the wrong key. Okay.
Wait a minute,
Okay.
wait a minute, Rhonda. The fact that he called it relative, like I have relative. I have relative pitch. She think I have what? We don't even know what relative pitch is. Is that the right? Is that A flat? Give me an A flat.
right.
You know my key. Can you put? That's so sad, but
That is so funny. He talking about I have relative pitch. Really? What the world? So what's up with this music thing? Is my mom has it? Because I know, because Rhonda, I'm coming to you, because Rhonda is also a singer, you all. And I mean, listen, when we say people, now y'all know me. I'm an atmosphere shifter.
yes, you
Right.
are.
I can shift an atmosphere.
Yes.
But honey, listen, that Rhonda can get a mic and she'll sit there till Jesus come in the room. She won't. She ain't gonna move till he get there. She'll be like, nope, he ain't here yet. She'll say, nope, I don't feel him. I don't feel him.
Exactly. Nope, not yet.
No, he ain't here yet. So y'all keep on. Come on, come on. So how did you get into all this music thing? Is that from your family? Is that what did you do it in high school?
So yes, both. So my family, all of us sing. All of us, like from my granddad, on down. We and actually my family, they still do. I haven't sung with them in a while, but we have a group, the Austin family. They go around different churches around the Goldsboro and surrounding areas and go around to sing. So we've been singing all of our lives, and I grew up singing. My mom, she's also soprano. Like she really is. Her one of my favorite songs I think I love to hear her sing is I Tried on Milton Brunson. That was my
yes, sir.
That's one of my favorite songs that I love to hear her sing. And so I just always grew up in music. I listened
But
to
Bishop, hold on. It's not like the Austin family, like 4 people. This is like the Austin family of like 8, 9,
8.
8. But then they can either play the drums, play the piano, then the cousins play, so that increases to like 4 or more people. So it's not like, yes, I just want to like
They like the Osmonds.
yes. But go ahead, baby. You said
No,
high
you're
school.
fine. Yeah, so yeah, I grew up singing in the church, and everything. And I sung all throughout school, really, elementary school, middle, always did chorus, and high school did chorus. And so that's when it was in high school, really, that I really had a love for music. My teacher, she's now a bishop, Valerie Melvin. She's in Reedsville. Matter of fact, she was my music teacher, and before she went away, she really instilled into me music and what it's all about. And so I really can really date it back to her and giving me that shot and being a director. So because I love to direct choirs, that's like my bread and butter almost. Like I love good choir music, good gospel choir music. That's my alley all day. Whether she's a soloist, I'm the choir director, and so I just love good choir music. So I got into music, went to going to ECSU. I was first a psychology major, believe it or not. I was a psych major, and I realized after getting there my first year, I was like, I don't think I see myself doing this. And so after prayer and talking to my grandma and everything, she was like, okay, well, just whatever the Lord leads you to do. So I went into music. So I changed my major to music, and I fell in love with it, learning the different chords, like you were saying, the theory behind it, going through oral skills class, learning how to hear certain chords and hearing or sight reading music. It was all great to me, and I concentrated in voice. So I studied different languages: German, Italian, French, singing all of these genres of music, and on the classical level, and knowing different breathtaking techniques and all of these things. So as I got into it, not knowing really what I was getting into, but as I got more into music and studying, I became intrigued, and I definitely love it still to this day. Like I still have my books that's somewhere around here, all of my music books that I learned while I was in vocal class, all of my scores of sheet music I still have. I'll pull it out sometime and I just sit there and read it. So I really do I just loved it because it was just instilled into me.
And the apps.
Oh yeah, and the
He
apps,
does
yes.
this, it's an app. I don't know what it is, but he literally wrote for our wedding, he wrote the Lord's Prayer, and so he hears songs and then he'll go into the app. I don't know what it is.
Notion.
Notion, and literally, do the music. Yeah, he scores the music.
I need that app.
Yeah, was it Notion?
Notion. Mm-hmm. Notion.
Yeah.
Notion. I have to take a note. Notion.
I can know the Notion.
Yeah. So Rhonda, you're musical. So did you go to school as a music major, or how did that come about? Because you're very musical as well. And is that from your family? Y'all, I'm going somewhere. Y'all, you're behind the veil. This the good bishop. Are we going somewhere? Just stay
No, I definitely did not study music outside of learning to play the violin in 5th grade. You know how they come to the schools and they say, who wants to play? So I learned how to play the violin and read music, sheet music that way. But I was one of the kids where your daddy and your mama say you're going to sing in the youth choir. Can you hear me?
Oh, yeah. No,
Okay.
that's Miss McKenzie asking me a question in the middle of my interview.
She want to be on. She want to come say hello.
Oh, she'll come in after. She'll come in at the end of every one of them. You're like, hey, like she famous.
She is.
She is famous now. She is
famous,
and I love her.
Yes.
So you had to be in the choir.
Yeah, like you have a choice. So
wow.
Oh, I guess I had if I wanted to, but I learned to love singing. And my dad, if I had to sing a solo, my dad would coach me in the kitchen on how to sing and when to take breaths and pull from here, do it again. At a young age, he would do that to me.
Wow. So what'd you go to school for? What did you go?
I went to school for, you go to school for one thing and you end up with something else.
Listen, I already know.
You want to know what I finished with? finished with a bachelorette in human development and family studies, and child and adolescent development. And then I went and got a nonprofit management certification, and then my master's in business administration.
Really? Oh,
Yes.
so you're gonna be educated too, right? You're gonna be pretty and talented
Yes.
and educated, y'all.
Right.
And listen.
Yes.
So here's the story, y'all. So I set that story up because these two, you can tell they love music. They have music as a common theme here. Mr. Relative Pitch guy.
Yeah.
and Miss singing the Tots choir. I mean,
Yeah, pretty much.
wait a minute. And your daddy had you in the kitchen.
Pretty much in the kitchen, at the kitchen table, standing up.
Oh God, I done lost y'all. I lost y'all again. It must be me.
Uh-oh, you can't hear us?
I lost y'all. Where you go? Come back.
Yes.
Whatever it is that we did, we did something. We did something on our end. We had this problem earlier today, and they said, we have done nothing. We didn't do nothing. And so they sat there, and then it went away, and then it came back.
Yeah.
And so now we can't figure out what the problem is.
Yes.
We had a problem earlier.
Yeah.
Because y'all don't want to hear me. I want to hear them. I want to hear their story.
That's how
why I can't hear you.
Oh, you still can't hear us.
It's the devil.
Can the people
Oh, you can hear them. I can't hear them.
People can hear
Oh, so I got the issue. It's the devil on my side. Uh-huh. Devil trying to trick me. But I got away.
Maybe tell Bishop.
That's all right. Go ahead. Say something. All right. And so the one thing it is that they are everybody can hear, honey. It's just me on my end. Okay, we good. And so you all met musically and in that process. So tell us, Rhonda, how did you all actually meet? Because see, there's a myth going on out here. You do some crazy stuff to meet your man of God, or wait a minute, for him to see you. Come
on here.
But you got to make sure you bring it in the sheaves.
Come on.
Like Ruth.
Not in your neck.
You got to be working.
Yeah.
Bringing in the sheaves.
Right.
Yeah.
So go ahead, Rhonda. Tell us the story of how you all met, because you were single a long time when I met you. You were single a long time, and that was the whole thing about the young women getting married in the church. That was always, because we all grew up kind of in the Prince. Did you grow up in Kojic too?
I did not. No.
What? What'd you grow up in?
No, non-denominational, but really holiness, strictly holiness. So yeah. Yeah. It's a story behind that too. Yep.
But he came
right
to the Kojic convention.
Yes.
Oh Lord. Well, Rhonda, but he came. Yes, sir. God did it for him. Listen. So Rhonda, tell the story of how you all met.
All right. So yes, we were at the Church of God in Christ Holy Convocation, and at that time, our bishop was jurisdictional bishop was putting together a CD project, and it's on YouTube. It's on iTunes. You Are Not Alone. Yes. I think is the name of it. And so one of our good friends asked him to come sing the front line for the project, and I was singing frontline. And frontline, you all know the people who are in the mics, who basically or on the project. And so he came, we were having rehearsals till 2:00, 1:00 in the morning. Him with his relative pitch was helping me out with my note, you know, when I didn't get certain things. And then he would walk my friend and I to our cars just to make sure we got home safely. And I realized, I was like, this guy is more concerned with me than the guy who I was dating at the time. And so that's how we met. We met literally in church. I was singing. He came and sung.
You're
and
a chair lady too.
I was the youth chair lady. Basically what that means, I oversee and help youth leaders of over 100+ churches in North Carolina at the time. So that's how we met, Bishop, at church.
She met the man of God at the church house.
The church house. I wasn't at the club or in somebody's bedroom. You know, like sometimes we get all kinds of advice to try to catch a man, but I was literally serving God. And I was at a point in my life where I had just surrendered everything. I'm like, Lord, you know what you're doing, so I'm not going to worry about it. And I really was in a place of happiness with like being single. I wanted to be married, but I wasn't consumed with that idea. I was good. I was happy. That's when I had my hair cut on the side, suit, you know, so I was good. I was good. And I wasn't really looking for that. And so 4 years down the road, he goes off to the military, but we remained friends. He would come to like my parents' church. He would check on me because I was working like 3 jobs. It was crazy, but we remained friends, just friends, for real friends, not like friends with benefits, but like for real friends. Right. Cynthia, let me tell you what he said at the end of the convocation.
Talk, girl. Talk about it.
Yeah. Would it be all right if I get your number so we can stay in contact? I was like, sure, but I didn't give him my real number. I gave him
the ghost line.
I gave him my Google Voice number because I didn't know him like that. I had to make sure he wasn't really crazy because, you know, everybody in the church that say they say. So I didn't know him like that. So he would text me on my Google Voice number and call me. And after, it was probably a couple of months. Then I was like, reach me on this number, because he would always try to reach me and I wouldn't be available because it wasn't the actual real number.
She had a ghost line, Cynthia.
The ghost line.
She done ghosted her boo thing.
But he got the real number after 3 or 4 months because I was tired of having to log in and check for the number. So yeah. So he went to the military, and it was funny. He came back. That's when I was chair lady. He came back to that same building, and I was looking down at my phone, trying to get the announcements together. I'm trying to get the announcements together because they just put me on spot. You know, you got to hurry up and get these announcements together. And I get a text, you know, you shouldn't be on your phone in church. I was like, what is he doing texting me? And I look up, y'all. He had been to basic and he'd been to AIT, which is the schooling after basic. So he looked a little different. I was like, is that Daraja? a pink colored top and some gray pants. I remember. And it was so funny because another guy who was trying to talk to me in the same same night. It was funny. They was coming out of Woolworth's Bishops by then. Yes, they were coming out. And so Daraja, y'all, he came and he stood on the back of the platform. And I'm trying to handle everything at the end of the service. And he is literally standing there with his hands folded like this, just chilling. And so my mom came up to me. I'm trying to make the story fast, but my mom came up to me talking. You know how I do.
You're on Behind the Veil. We good.
Okay, yeah. She came up. She said, is that Daraja? I said, yes, ma'am, that's Daraja. She said, is he waiting on you? I said, I think so. I'm not sure. And so she was like, well, you need to go see what he wants. I said, I am. I'm trying to finish. So that night, he's like, where are you going? I was a chaperone for the youth. So I had kids in my room, you know. I'm going back to the room to kids. And he said, well, do you mind if I come? We can sit in the lobby. I'll, get pizza for everybody. I said, you sure can get pizza for everybody. So he got pizza, and we were just talking in the lobby, and he said, I just came up here to let you know that that I want to be with you. Mm-hmm. And I knew he had just gotten out of a relationship. And I looked at him and I said, well, I'm not the other woman. And he said, you're not. It's always been you. I just didn't have the courage.
Woo!
But Bishop, 6 months before that, this is the good part. Mm-hmm. 6 months before that, y'all, I was talking to him and I was feeling like my little heart and emotions getting all involved and stuff. And I have a nonprofit called Finding Your Heart. And so, it's all about guarding your heart and doing what God wants you to do. And so I had to do a heart check. I texted him and I was like, well, are you still in a relationship? Because I was feeling, I was starting to be really attracted to him. And he said, I actually am, but it's not going too well. And I said, well, we can't keep talking like this if you're in a relationship. Y'all, that was hard to say, right? I said, we can't keep talking like this if you're in a relationship. He was like, what do you mean? Is that forever? And I was like, yeah, as long as you're in a relationship. And so then 6-8 months later, that's when he showed up at the convention and told me he wanted to be with me.
He didn't tell you he wanted to be with you. He just kind of showed up.
He just showed up. He showed up. He knew that we were in the youth convention. He knew, he saw the flyer. He knew that I would be there. And he showed up and he said, I want to be with you. And I had been hurt. You get hurt in different relationships. He was very persistent and consistent. You get hurt in relationships. You're not sure. But God had healed me, but I was still very cautious. And so for 5 months, I said, let me see if he's going to do. I didn't say I'm going to wait 5 months. It was just happened to be 5 months. I'm going to see if he's going to do what he said he's going to do. Because it was important to me, whoever I was going to be with, they had to be a man of their word. And, if you can be a man of your word and then grow in God, hey, we can do this thing if you really have a heart towards God. And he was a man of his word. He always showed up. One time he didn't show up. And come on. All those emotions from all those other men who didn't showed up came up. I was in a mood. I'm going to tell you what, I was in a mood.
No fault of my own, though.
It wasn't.
No fault of my own.
That's right, Donna. Yeah, I love it, too. He knew exactly who and what he wanted. I love it.
Exactly. And it wasn't any fault of his own why he didn't show up. It was his first time he was going to meet my whole family, and he couldn't come. And he couldn't come. Why? Because the Army had put him on a mission for the weekend, last minute. And so all my emotions dealing with rejection and not being good enough swelled up because of one disappointing moment. This is real. This is behind the veil. I was walking around at UNCG at 1 a.m., graduated, but I was so hurt and mad. And the enemy had just put me in such a depressive mode. Then he was on the phone. He was like, where are you? And I'm like, I'm just walking. Then he fell asleep, Bishop. He fell asleep in the midst of my upsetness. And anyway, then he called me right back after 5 minutes after he realized I hung up. And he's like, I'm going to come. But I was so emotional, I couldn't see it. And he said, this is what we're going to do. He said, give me all of your family members' numbers, and I'm going to call them and tell them what's going on. Because when other men or people said they were going to do something, I felt like I always made an excuse as to why they couldn't come. So he didn't know that I did that in the past. So that's how I knew that, man, this guy is really for me, because he took the initiative. He's like, I'm going to call your aunt. I'm going to call your dad. I'm going to let them know what's going on. And do you not know, by the next day he had called everybody? So when I'm calling them, call my sister, my brother, while I'm calling them saying, he can't come. My dad said, Rhonda, but he's still here. He ain't going nowhere. He's still, I was like, you're right, Dad. I was like, let me calm on down. So I say all that to say that's how we met. We dated for 5 months.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
We dated for 5 months. He proposed to me in March, and then we were engaged for 4 months, and we were married in August. Mm-hmm. But that's a little bit of our dating story.
That's a short dating period. That's a
Yeah.
relatively short.
Mhm.
So you knew when you saw her, is this the friend connect, the Rajay? Was this the thing that you had been this is not, y'all, we didn't plan to talk about this.
Right.
It,
No.
but is this how the what was it? Let me just say to you, what was it that you saw in her that said, you know what, that's where I need to be?
Mhm.
Let's just dig since we behind the veil
Right.
and we here.
Right.
The 4-year friendship or when he came?
Well, let's deal with both of them. Let's deal with because you have to establish, some level of friendship, right? And he has to know something. At least he wants to be a friend.
Mhm.
And
Right.
what is that? What? Because it seems like both of you all were dating or had other relationships at the time,
We did.
and now it seems like, at least that initial time, I just want to talk. Let's be friends.
Mhm.
Um, it. I mean, what's going on here that you see in her,
Right.
even though you may be in another relationship, but this is like wifey right here. This is
Yeah.
wifey.
Seriously. During the first 4 years of our friendship, it was just, I don't know, it was just her smile, and really her, I mean, she's definitely beautiful, she's always been
Beautiful lady.
yeah, and so, and the way she carried herself, she's always genuine, she's always real. And I've heard so much about it. I was going to, so you asked me earlier that I grew up in Kojic. I didn't. I started going to Kojic Church when I was in college. And when I started there, going to one of the Kojic churches in Elizabeth City, and then going to the conventions and everything, I just kept hearing this name, Rhonda. I was like, well, who's Rhonda? Rhonda, I did. There was like, and they said that she can sing. They said that she sing classically. I was just like, oh, okay, who is this girl? And I never met her. I just kept hearing her name being going around. I was just like, okay, then who is this? Who is this lady? And so then I think I did hear her sing one time. Just like, oh, okay, she can really. She, like you said, like she'll sit there till till Jesus come.
She ain't moving till he get there.
You won't. Yeah, right, exactly. So just it was just her. Like if you are ever in her presence for more than 5 minutes, you'll really understand the genuineness of who she is and the God that is in her. Like it doesn't have to take long. Like you may be like, seriously, I'm not saying this because she's my wife, but this is what drew me to her, really. And it is because of what was on the inside of her that drew me. Like it just really drew me to her. So I wanted to get to know her. I was just like, okay, let's do this. And so during that first 4 years of friendship, like you said, we were in she was in a relationship at one point in time, then I wasn't. Then she got out, then I got in. So we're just playing like this tag
Right.
game back and forth. But like she said, we remained friends, and that's what I loved. Out of all the relationships that I have been in, I honored our friendship. Really, I really did. Like we were always there for one another, checking on one another, make sure one of us ate. Had we eaten today? What was going, because we going on with so much going in our lives. And so we were just knowing that we were there for one another, and I honored that. And then even in my last relationship before her, she still respected the fact that yes, I'm in a relationship, but she still from time to time, even when my granddad passed away January 1st, 2014, and I text her and I was telling her, I was like, my granddad just passed. And that took a whole toll on myself because he was like a father to me. Didn't grow up with my father, and so he was that father figure to me. I'm the oldest grandson, so I was number one right there with him. And so by him dying, I text her and she was like, I'm praying for you. Do you need anything? She was just, right there, knowing that I was still in a relationship at the time, but she was still just genuine, saying, hey, if you need me to come, I'll come. If you need that support, I was like, I think I'll be fine. But just knowing that she was right there. And so and even when that last relationship was spiraling, and that in itself was God, because I had honestly between that time when I joined basic training in December of 2013 and going through basic training, I had really was in a backslidden condition. I was starting in a backslidden way doing basic training, and so I was trying to blend in with everybody else, and not standing out, but the Lord arrested me while I was in basic training. It's like, this is not what I put in you. This is not who you are. So I repented and started doing what the Lord wanted, how he wanted me to be, even while in basic training. So get through basic training, get through AIT, and I'm like, and I'm still in a relationship with this other young lady. And I'm like, and now I'm getting to the point, I was like, okay, God, I want to be married. And I asked the question, I asked the Lord a question, because I was brought up that, whenever you are ready to, be married or anything, you always pray, you always acknowledge the Lord, make sure that this is the person for you. So I did. And while I was in AIT, I was in my training, and I asked the Lord the question. I was like, Lord, is this person, won't round up. I was like, but Lord, is this person the right person for me? And when I tell you, Bishop, he answered, he showed me a dream. I'll go through it real quickly, but he showed me a dream that same night. The same night, me and the young lady was going into a church service, and we sat down, had, it was a good church, and the woman of God was preaching and whatnot. And then me and the young lady was getting ready to leave. And the woman of God came and grabbed both of our hands, took both of our hands like this, and separated us so far that we could not see one another. And she only said 2 words, not so. And I was like, and I woke up, I was like, oh, all right, that's plain and simple.
Good googly moogly. What you say? Saints, if you ever hear them 2 words,
Not so.
not I want you to run
Run.
as fast as you can. Oh God, Lord, I don't know why that's funny to me. Say the woman came and said, not so.
I mean, she separated, so like the church was one but so big, but when she separated us, the room expanded. Literally, the room expanded. Like I could barely see her. The church was but so big, but when she separated us, the room literally expanded when she separated us. Yeah.
Well, if you ask him, he will answer.
And then he had a nerve to call me and said, "What do you think this means?" And I said, "You need to pray and ask the Lord."
Wait a minute. You didn't shoot your shot and say, he said, not so.
Right. So I went on, and
even though he knew it,
even though I did.
Him.
I don't know why, I just wanted to hear from her. From some stranger, I wanted to hear from her to say that it was. And so
wait a minute. Cynthia, you crazy.
No.
She talking about she wish she knew that lady before her first marriage. And so you text Rhonda and gonna ask her, what does it mean?
You know what it meant, but
you knew exactly what that meant.
It was so plain and simple. I was just like, I don't know why I'm doing this, but I just wanted to hear from her. I really did, because I valued her. So I was just like, all right, let me just hear from her. But so had the dream. I drug my feet in the dream. In real life, I didn't move right away. Just being beyond the veil, right? I didn't move right away. It took me like maybe another month or 2 before I actually moved and said, okay, we have to break it off. I know we've been dating for a year and some change now, and we love each other, but the Lord, doesn't want us to be together. And she didn't understand that, even though she grew up in church. Grandma is an apostle and all this, but she still herself didn't keep up with her relationship with God, so she didn't understand. I could not explain it to her, and so we broke it off and everything, and then that's when we get to the part of me coming down there to the convention. That's all within that time span of me getting to the convention and being and like she said, I found it on Facebook because I was stationed in Arlington, Virginia at that time, and I was nothing but 4.5 hours from there. So I was just like, okay, why not? I'm close to home. Home for the weekend.
But 4.5 hours.
Oh, sorry,
really? You and this nothing but 4.5 hours and relative pitch. We got to work on this. We got to work on this.
So I saw the flyer. It was their AIM. There was their AIM convention, and I was like, I can go home. It was a holiday weekend, so I was just like, why not? Why not go home, then stop by the church, and then go home for the weekend? So that's how that happened. It was all in that one weekend.
So did you have the intent to go really?
I did actually, yeah. I really wanted to see her because I knew she would be there because she was chair lady. And I was like, okay, this is my time, like to
It's
really.
your opportunity.
It is my opportunity, and all the way down there, I mean, it was good leaving Virginia, then getting to North Carolina. It started thundering, raining, pouring down. I was just like, what am I doing? What is going on? But I did not stop. I was like, we gonna keep riding this train today. So. But yeah, so I did. I had the intent to go and see her, and see others that I knew from the college, the school the church that I was going to in Little City and everything. But my intent was to go and to talk to her because I knew she would be there. I knew she was there for a fact. So
yeah,
because she gonna be in church,
right?
I am. I do like fun things, but yes, we're gonna go to church.
She gonna be. Wait a minute. There's two things. She gonna be in church. And she gonna be somewhere with a microphone or somewhere in the choir singing.
Right. That's
Exactly.
Right. Yeah.
Exactly.
Even when we were in Germany, it was so funny. The members there were praying, Lord, send us musicians, send us singers. And what the Lord ended up sending was a musician and a singer, but also their new pastor. And so
yeah, because you guys get married very, very, very quickly, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Because it was like 1 minute I saw Rhonda, and the next minute they were talking about she was married and she was leaving. Because she was the praise and worship leader. I was used to when I came there for revivals, for her leading the praise and worship, and I was like, and I think Auntie was like, that's First Lady McMurray to everybody else, but she's my auntie. And Auntie said, yes, Rhonda met a wonderful man. He plays.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, that's cool. And then the next thing I know, Rhonda's getting married. I was like, what? And then Rhonda's moving. I was like, what?
It was very
I was like, who gonna do the praise and worship?
Right.
It was very fast. It was fast and very hard.
Yeah.
It was fast and hard.
So once you do all of this, do you get stationed after you're married to go to Germany? You get a new assignment after the marriage?
No, so you get stationed for Army wise. You get stationed at a duty station for at least 3 years, 2 to 3 years. So I was I've just been there maybe a year in Virginia, DC area. So I just got there maybe a year or so ago. So I had another 3 years left there, and that's when we still had time there. And then after that, that's when you get a new assignment.
Then you got your next assignment. Okay. I didn't realize you all lived in that area before you went to Germany. Okay.
Years.
3 years, yep.
So how was that, Rhonda? You out the gate. You here is this guy, this relative pitch guy, from Goldsboro with an Arabic name.
Yeah. The Prince.
Y'all, his name Daraji actually means the Prince. Raji, with Raji meaning Prince.
Yeah.
And so that's his name. And I would have, I'm glad God didn't, I'm glad my mama didn't give me that. Everything would have been, this wouldn't be behind the veil. This would be the Prince.
The Prince. The Prince.
The Prince. Y'all just join me for the Prince.
Right. Everything you say go. Yes.
Everything. The Prince.
Yes. Oh my gosh.
So how was that, Rhonda, making that adjustment? Because now you are not only are you a wife, but you're a musician's wife. And how was that going? Because I don't remember him being pastor when you guys first met. I I just knew he was a musician. And so how was that whole piece? I said, God, they getting ready to get it all because she can sing and he can play. I said, it's getting ready to be popping.
Yeah. It was an adjustment, but I to be honest, what made it easier was definitely, of course, God, but knowing that I was with him and that it was going to be okay. Yeah. He's a musician, but then also he's a servant. He was like the armor bearer of all armor bearers. You know, there before the pastor gets there when he leaves, there after he leaves, you know, serving whatever is needed as unto the Lord with so much grace and just humility. And so coming into that, you know, I'm leaving somewhere where we were moving and grooving.
Right.
You know, state level, local level, we're getting it done, whatever it is, singing, administration. So I'm coming in to his world now, to people that I'm kind of familiar with, but not familiar with.
Yeah. So
it literally felt like I literally left my home, right, to go to this foreign place amongst people who wasn't rescue temple number one. You know,
that's right.
It was just different, and trying to figure out, okay, God, what am I supposed to be doing here? And so there was this tug of war between military, church, and then who am I supposed to be right now? And who am I to him, right?
Yeah.
Letting go responsibilities there to try to hear from the Lord about what's the focus in this season. And he was so supportive in that he never like pressured me to do certain things or try to force me to do certain things. He tried to push me out there to explore, but never said that I had to do certain things. So it was very, very difficult. Yeah, it was difficult learning how to drive in a new area. You know, DC, Virginia, God bless everybody who stays there. But those streets are no joke. Like, so, you know, the second year I got used to that. We even had conversations because before we got married, he was very committed and he still was committed. I'm gonna never stop him from serving. But we had conversations, okay, you can't be there all the time. Bishop, one day I was hungry. And the pastor called him over and I'm sitting there because I know there's other people that probably could have helped, but I'm sitting in the car hungry. And I said, my God, it's 45 minutes. So thankfully he left the keys in the car. This was when we were like 2 months into marriage. I went and got me something to eat. And I was like, I don't even want to get him nothing to eat. It was Chipotle. But y'all, I got him some Chipotle. And I went home, relaxed, and then he called me with such a sweet voice. Hey, babe, you gonna come get me? Of course I'm gonna come get you, but on the end, I'm like, nah, you need to come. So all of that, getting to know each other and learning how to balance. Learning how to balance, because you know, I don't know if y'all know, but like in the military, they don't expect a lot of marriages to last because of alcohol and infidelity.
And a lot don't last.
And a lot of them don't.
Wow. So we don't know that. Yeah. So I didn't realize that was the case. I do know people move a lot. I do know it's hard when there are the same person, when you have like, let's say you have 2 lieutenants or 2 captains, you have to make sure you get the right assignment to go to the right place. I've heard that before, but I hadn't heard that they don't, you know, survive. Because I from what my sister, she was married and her husband was and so they lived on the base, or maybe they didn't live on the base. I don't know. I was never invited. They didn't never let me come.
Oh, yeah, you're invited, Bishop. You can come.
Rudolph.
Yeah, it's a lot of strain, financial that can come on a family. The government doesn't support as much as people think they do, and then if they're sent off for 6 months, a year, you know, outside of the family, that's a lot. So we're thankful we had our crucible experiences, while we were in Germany. But we're thankful. We know it's only God that and mentors and prayer.
You can get separated because but you have to go where they send you. Yeah.
Yeah,
Because I was gonna say because that's a part of what we're talking about tonight. We're both soldiers. I mean, you're both soldiers in this armed forces thing, and you're both soldiers in the Lord. And I wanted to. So you started. You trickled into that of what is it like to be soldier in both of those areas, and how do you navigate? So we're gonna move a little bit further, y'all. They got stationed to Germany, and then he goes to Germany, and they go to Germany, and over there, not only is I guess he's musician and she's singer, but he actually ends up being pastor. So here we have these two worlds of being soldiers. That's I think I want to get to that because you alluded to it, Rhonda, that the government soldier, they don't really placate to being successful, but then you have this other thing that makes you, it bespeaks of staying together. So what were some of the things that happened, and how did you all navigate that? Like what did you get a crazy assignment?
Oh yeah.
Oh yes, absolutely.
So
which the
there's
beginning?
so many. Because when he went to Germany, he changed his jobs from human resources to military intelligence. And so that meant his secret clearances went higher. That meant we had to have code words. Like if I asked him a question, he couldn't talk about it. Our code word was ice cream, or he would have to go out and do certain things and couldn't tell me. That put a huge strain on our marriage. But
Lord, he was one of the 12 spies.
No, seriously. Though
wow.
I'm so thankful for his training because he could be anywhere, and I guess I could say this. He can case a whole area and take notes and mental notes and know personalities of people and what they're doing or what they just did. And I'm walking around like, so I'm thankful for that type of training. He knows how to ask certain questions but
back to you all. So you couldn't talk about certain things, or you couldn't talk about stuff that if you couldn't ask him a question, or you had to be cautious. Like, how did that work? Now, wait a minute. I'm so nosy. Y'all only on behind the veil. Wait a minute. It's like this right here.
Yes.
What?
Yeah, like mission, different things that his leadership may ask him to do, or he may have to go. He couldn't tell me all the time. And
because we don't know, like Rhonda, she's very detail oriented. Like she wants to know
right
and everything. So she'll ask me like, "How's your day? Like, what happened?" And while I was in that area, I couldn't necessarily tell her everything as if I did when I was, human resources. And so it was just like, for me to, I had to not beat around the bush and lie, but it was like
you couldn't tell her. You had a secret clearance. Yeah.
I just had to give her the top coat of a lot of things. I couldn't go to
the top coat.
That was just my word.
I know. But his commanding officer, when we first got to Germany, he sat us down, paid for our meals, and said, well, I'm divorced. And he said, a lot of people don't last. Their marriages don't last
in this field.
So how did you all make it work? That's the $1 million question now.
It is $1 million question. It was definitely the Lord. It was definitely the Lord, and really, yeah.
And taking a mirror and looking at ourselves.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. Yeah.
Yeah, like
being truthful and honest. I mean, the Bible says that in Psalms that thou requires truthfulness in the inward part.
On the inward part, yes, sir.
And so I take it. I love that scripture, and I had to really talking about me. I had to really look at myself and face myself with a lot of things that were could hinder our marriage or end our marriage. And
Wow.
yeah, seriously. And when I came face to face with those things, and I had to you had to make a choice, right? You have to choose life or you choose death. And so I chose life, really. And and from that point on, I chose life.
Yeah.
Really, it was an everyday, still to this day, it's still an everyday decision that I choose life, that I get up and make a conscious decision. Even to this day, like every day I pray, God, make me a better husband. That's my prayer each and every day. That, like, really make me the husband that I need to be for her. Teach me how to be a father. We don't have children yet, but God, I want to know, instill in me what it means to be a father, a man, a father after God's own heart, and things of that nature. So it was really me facing, those things and really choosing life and saying, okay, God, I want you instead of this thing, because if I choose this thing, it's just going to lead me down a path that I'm familiar with, but I know where it's going to lead me to. It's going to
right.
So
I'm listening to this and I'm like, whoa, because I can see both of you having to make some serious adjustments emotionally, and you are newly married. I mean, when because you don't date for a long time, you got a long friendship,
right.
but you don't date for a long time. So you're newly married. Anything 7 and 8 and under, you get, because most of them don't last out of the first 7. I mean,
that's right. Yeah.
You determined right then.
That's right.
So how did this pastoral thing? So you're a musician, you over there, who's one of them spies? You were either
Joshua
or
Caleb, which you
But it was crazy though, Bishop, because I guess I can say it's the commanding officers in the military. Sometimes they have expectations. Oh, come out, do this. Oh, let's do this. But you asked us a question about being soldiers in both armies, and we took a stand together that we are who we are. So we don't go out and do that. And in Germany, everybody drinks. Like, if you don't drink,
they drink like sailors.
like it's just a thing.
It's and like so water.
Yeah, seriously. They sit down, having dinner, they can have brunch.
Or
they got a tall they have a tall glass of beer.
Oh yeah.
Or women, whatever it is. But when we would have conversations with others, officers or spouses or families, and they were like, you don't what? You what? So they were shocked, one, that we were young, and that we were just running around trying to be in people's business in their lives in that way. Husbands with, neighbors, like neighbors was exchanging spouses. Like, it was crazy for things like that. We hear about it, but it was interesting to see it. So we knew coming to Germany, we had to find our home, like our church, like our home. Like, where are the believers?
Yeah. So Cynthia asked a question. So were you looking to become a pastor at that time? I mean, was that something that was in your heart? Or
I knew that the Lord had called me to be a pastor, but I didn't know that soon. I really didn't. The ministry that we were under, Pastor Hunt, New Community Church, God in Christ. Before we left, I forgot. I had to name the message just then. But I preached my last message in New Community before going off to Germany, and he prophesied to me that you're going to become a pastor. And he really, and I trusted him, but I didn't know it was going to be that soon. So no, I did not go over there to be a pastor and nothing like that. I wasn't searching for a church or anything. I was just going over there to for one, fulfill my requirement for the military. And 2, find other believers so that we can just continue to worship and praise God together. So
because I wanted to go back to that, because I'm bivocational, so I work a job, like plus I pastor, and so sometimes on the job thing, when you are excelling in that particular, in your area or your field of expertise, they have these things, a lot of wines and cheeses that you have to go to. It's a lot of dinner it's a lot. People get blitzed all the time, and you have to establish. You have to establish you. You have to establish who you are in all of those, and just remain true to the other part of your soldier. If that, because if you don't, I don't care what none of y'all say. This is my platform. You lose a little bit of your oil.
You do
when you play. When you play both sides,
yes, sir.
You don't have free flow.
Yeah, I agree.
I agree. So here you are, either Joshua or Caleb, and you are playing. Are you still being a musician?
Yes. So first we get there. I didn't play on the first Sunday, but I was itching because they didn't have a musician. So I was just like, I want to just help. Like she said, I love serving. I love helping. I do have the gift of helps, which I'm just discovering is more prevalent now as I get older. And so there I'm like, man, I want to help them out, but I'm staying reserved. So then I think the next Sunday or two, I asked the pastor at that time, I was like, you mind if I play or anything? So she was like, yeah, absolutely. So I sat down and I'm playing while they're worshiping and everything. And then they give her the mic and she starts singing. And
that's over. It was over right there.
And that's how we began to play. They asked her to, start leading, worship, leading them in worship. And I'm playing behind her. And all that, playing with her. So she don't like when I say behind her, but playing with her. And so, but right. and so we go on, and so it's a not Church of God in Christ, but it's Church of God. And so if you know anything about them, they're two of the same. Their belief systems are the same. And so and so the bishop of the European region, he contacts me. Well, no, before that, the founder, we get to meet the founders of that church, of that particular church. Randomly at the commissary. They scooped us up and gave us a ride home because we didn't have our car yet. And so they gave us a ride to home, and they invited us to church. And so and he said, well, I founded this church in 2005. And so we started going there. He wasn't a pastor anymore because he was living back in the States, but he still comes back because his wife was working there. And so we started fellowship with them. They are a jewel. They really are. And so he evidently he puts a bug into the bishop of the European region ear, said, hey, I have this elder. He can lead the church, because the pastor, we didn't know at the time, the current pastor, she was getting ready to go into the military as a chaplain. She ain't told anybody this. And so we come to find this out. The bishop, the European bishop, he calls us, and we sit down, he and his wife, on Zoom, and he said, you've been recommended to become the pastor of New Hope Christian Center. And we're like, what?
Where is the pastor going?
Right. And he goes through the whole story and everything. He was like, but I don't want you to give me an answer yet, but I want you to pray about it and, get back with me and let me know what you think of you being the, they call it center directors. That's how they call it. And so we want you to lead New Hope. And I'm like, okay. So I think I gave them an answer. What, a couple days later, praying and thinking about it, I was like, okay, this must be the Lord, because it's fulfilling the prophecy that my pastor has said. And so I said yes, and got installed as there in December with the founder. He came, and we did this whole installation service and everything, and it was great. And during that time, this was December, December. Just looking at him, he looked like he was at peace. He had founded this church in 2005, and when he gave it to me, he looked like he was at peace. He was just pouring into, even before then, he was just really pouring into the both of us. He was just giving us as much as he could. He just like, this is right here. This is how this is how this is run and everything, and
certain people.
Yeah, how to deal with certain people, and watch out for this person who just like giving me like a father to his son. He was just really and pouring into me. And I'm just like, what is going on? So December, he looked like he's at peace. Then he goes home. He goes back to the States for the holidays, and then I go away in January. I just been installed December. In January, they send me away to Romania.
And this is 2020. This is about to be the height of the pandemic.
Right. So I'm in Romania now. I'm no longer in Germany, but I'm in Romania. And so
Rhonda's in Germany?
Right, Rhonda's in Germany. And this is that separation part right here. And so she has now to lead the church that I've been called into.
All right, Pastor Rhonda.
Right.
Wait a minute. Thank God for Rescue Temple #1.
No, seriously.
Seriously, because they train you all to handle all aspects of ministry and people and church, and they teach you how to testify and the word and worship. You have to learn as a Kojic baby. You don't realize it, but they are setting you up for success.
Yes.
For later on, and you don't know it until you like, oh man, I already know how to do this. My training is bananas.
Right.
Wow. So you in Romania, and now she got to be Pastor Rhonda.
Right. She has to be Pastor Rhonda.
That's what they call me.
Yep. And so I'm doing things virtually on Zoom, to try to lighten the load for her. I'm doing the Bible studies and everything.
That's crazy.
And she's doing, the actual physical service and everything. And then the pandemic happens, February. That's when it starts to lock down and everything. And then in March, one half of the founder dies. The bishop, the founder, Percy Wilson is his name. He dies in March, not of COVID. He was sitting in his recliner chair, and it was like he went to sleep.
Wow.
And this is all within us being pastors, and we're just like, what? In a new country, the pandemic is happening. The wife is still in. His wife is still in Germany because she was going to retire. She was planning to retire that year. He was building her a house, them a house in Texas and everything for her to retire, and he had everything set up and ready for it. He was just waiting for her to finish out that school year, and she was gonna move back to the States. And then he passes. He go on to be with the Lord in March, and so we had to handle her. She's there. I'm still in Romania. I cannot move now because of the pandemic, and I can't go anywhere. She having to handle all of that.
And we lost our first member
losing her
to cancer, stomach cancer. And the family asked me to do the funeral in the height of a pandemic. Bishop.
Wow.
I did a funeral.
She did a funeral. I couldn't be there. I tried my best to get there, but she had to do it.
A whole funeral. That was
a whole one, not a half one.
The committal, like everything, Bishop.
Everything.
I had my book and everything. I was like, the book is on the shelf. Just get it. So, yeah.
Talking about being indoctrinated. Talking about being in ministry together. Talking about being a soldier and a soldier.
Right. You can't just give up, right?
Yeah, right.
I couldn't just give up.
Yeah,
right.
We accepted the assignment of God together. But can't give up. Souls were needing us. Like, no.
That is so Rhonda. That is so Rhonda right there. Souls need Jesus. They need Jesus.
I did. And it was a ministry to the military. So it's a ministry where people come in and out all the time.
Right. Flows in and out.
How cool it is. And I got this from another worship leader. Her name is Rhonda too, in Germany. She lives in Kaiserslautern, Germany. She said, as ministry to the military, we have such a great assignment that we get to disciple people who are going all around the entire world to disciple people.
That's right.
How cool is that?
Yeah.
It is the antithesis of Jesus, right? Like you make them. Y'all got 3 years with me, and then y'all get on. Go on about your business. Go on and do the work.
Right. And I think during that time, I learned how not to become so frustrated with those who don't want to eat at the table.
Yeah.
Those that don't want to go behind the veil.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Yeah.
Like,
And that's the when we do what we do, it's funny you would say that, because when we do what we do, people always ask me, how do you remain consistent? And it is not because I'm not frustrated that people don't want to eat at the table.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
My responsibility is to make sure that there is something there to eat.
Wow.
Right.
Come on.
That's good.
That's right.
All I can do, he prepared the table.
Yeah.
My job is to make sure that there is something there to eat. Now, if you don't want to eat it,
Right.
That's right.
I'm being rewarded for my preparation.
Yes.
That's
Come
good.
on.
Come on, Peter.
Somebody should be going off on a chat. Yes.
That's good.
Yeah, he blesses me for my preparation and the food that I lay. It is up to you to eat. So that's a valuable lesson to learn.
Yeah.
So you guys do that. And now it's obviously nothing happened in Romania. So you came on back.
Came on back for 6 months from January.
How long before you would get ready to get another assignment? Because you all are now back in the States.
Yeah.
So did you get another assignment, or did you ask to come back? Is that how that works in the armed forces? Or they just tell you, we have need of thee in Macedonia?
It's supposed you're supposed to like get 3 choices. Like, you know, okay, we would go to North Carolina, we'll go to Hawaii, Texas. You're supposed to get 3 choices. This with us, with him.
In this assignment.
In this particular assignment, we're waiting for his window to open for us to choose 3 options, because you're supposed to choose 3 options.
Got you.
One of his officers says, well, you actually have to stay here to October because they sent him on a special training. And he had to, if you went through that special training, then you had to extend to stay in Germany longer so that you can train the other people coming in.
A year from the completion of that training. So you had to stay there that long.
So we said, okay, we didn't know that. So maybe that's why the window didn't open. So we're still waiting for this window to open so we can know where we can go. It is literally 5 months out, and the windows are supposed to open like
February.
It's supposed to open January. Like almost 8 months out. Yeah. Like you're supposed to know where you're going early. But the window's not open.
Especially overseas. They give you time to prepare to move from overseas to back to stateside.
The window wasn't open. And so all of a sudden one of his officers came up to him and said, well, you've been chosen. You've been selected to go to Charlottesville, Virginia. Selected? Well, where's our window?
Right.
Why?
You don't get no window.
Right. Got no windows.
You ain't got no window.
No windows. So I think it's because of definitely God wants us here, and then his clearances where he is now, everybody can't go into that building. And so every service member can't necessarily be stationed here.
So in this intelligence thing, so that's your track. That's kind of where they've placed you in this intelligence.
I wasn't until now. I'm back in human resources now, so I'm working.
Oh, so now you get to come back. So they just, you don't be telling. See, that's why I didn't want to go right there. I'm gonna look in the camera. That's why I didn't want to go. Y'all ain't gonna be telling me where to go.
Exactly. They told us.
Yes, they really did.
Listen. I wanted to be Rambo. You ain't gonna tell me what not to do. I'm going.
They have you sitting at the desk. Just because you want to be Rambo.
Right. It'll be God telling me, boy, you don't get to choose what you want to do.
Yeah.
I'm in control of this.
Right.
Pretty much.
This is so powerful. So now you're in this waiting window, because I have taken up so much of your time. You all have been so gracious with your story behind the veil. But in all of this, Rhonda, you did a CD sometime, or was this before, or was this after? Because you had done at least one CD. Can
we talk about that just for a moment?
Yes, I wanted to get into it because you.
Yes, I want to appreciate you, Bishop.
Yes.
Because after the project, you told me about, don't forget, or before the project, he said, do as much overdubs as possible. I don't know if you remember telling me that, but you said do as much overdubs as possible. We did as much overdubs as possible, which was amazing. I think only 2 or 3 songs didn't have overdubs, so thank you for that. But we did a live recording in 2001.
Mm-hmm.
No, 2011.
Yes.
Is that right? 2011. I didn't know him then.
Mm-hmm. I wasn't in the picture.
In Greensboro, North Carolina.
Okay.
Bishop, the CD is not out yet.
Wow.
Because if it was out, you would have known. This is 22 Bishop. And
what happened, Rod?
Honestly, we came across 3 different crooked,
Oh yeah,
not integral,
yep,
mixers, masters,
yes,
marketing people,
yes,
who took the money that people trusted me with,
yes,
and did not do what they said they were going to do.
This is why it's called the music business. It's it's not the music, you all, that we have a challenge with, saints. It's the business. And everybody, just because it has gospel does not mean everybody on the business is in gospel.
Right.
They are in it for business. And sometimes people just steal stuff. Listen, that's why I was trying to play for you. I did this myself. Rhonda, I literally trusted my own ear. And I said, I'm going to play this music myself. I'm going to do my own backgrounds. And then I made me and my son sat down. We mixed it and mastered it, because it's something about putting your gift into somebody else's hands who doesn't value your gift.
Exactly. So I went to a broken place, a hurt place for a very long time, because this is like, you know what I mean? At first I stepped out on faith, and now you're trying to basically rip it away from me, and had to go through all of that healing. And I thank God for my brother, who is my music producer.
Chucky is phenomenal, y'all. Chucky is the bomb.com.
It's amazing. He went behind my back, and he told me an anonymous person got another engineer, and they paid the money and they're working on it. I said, who is this anonymous person? He wouldn't tell me who it was. Months later, maybe a year later, he told me it was him that did that.
Wow.
Even in that, Bishop, that was when we got 2016. Even in that, Bishop, the person that person recommended did the same thing. So here we are now. They did the same exact thing, but here we are now in 2022. I have final mixes and masters with new keyboards and vocals on everything. And so
wonderful.
We're excited. When it comes out, it's gonna be brand new and it's gonna be fresh. And
make sure you let me know, because I can put it on behind the veil. We'll play it.
Please. But yeah, I'm excited about it. It's been a very interesting journey, but we're going for it.
I love it.
Even in between there, Forever Worship, which was one of the songs up there, Church of God in Christ has done it on their youth choir CD. What's the convention? The Dorsey Convention.
Yes.
One of those chose 2 of my songs to do at one of their conventions. So even though we were in that limbo where it seemed like, what is going on, God? We were still submitting the music and people were still singing it and being blessed. So it hasn't been in vain. And
it has not.
It has not.
That is so wonderful.
Yeah. So
I'm happy. I'm glad that you guys, and I'm sure y'all, we can't tell all of the story. And look, y'all won't believe this. I had these people on for an hour and a half.
Oh, God.
Oh, wow. Really? Wow. It don't feel like it. Wow.
It doesn't feel, look, I tell people all the time. I was like, they were like, well, can we stay on about 45 minutes? I say, stay on as long as you want. And then when they get on, they'll be like, "Oh my God, I can't believe it was that long." Because this is so good.
Yeah.
So now we in the window. I mean, what so we just gotta wait.
We just got here. So we just got here in August. So we're gonna be here for the next 2 or 3 years. So we'll be here for the next 2 or 3 years and then the window will open up again. Probably like another 2 years before we had to move again. Really I'll be at that decision point whether to stay in or to get out and go back to being a civilian. So
Okay.
yep.
Well, listen, I am so happy. Rhonda's got her music out. Y'all are stable up there in Virginia. I don't want to tell people where you are, but you're in Virginia. I don't know if I told them or not.
You
Might
did.
have
It's okay.
It's okay.
Charlottesville. And he's up in Charlottesville, and she's got her music out. And listen, y'all, wasn't this an absolute bananas story for these two young people? And you've been married now how long?
6 years.
6 years. It'll
6
be
years.
7 in August.
And been through all of that in 6 years.
6
Wow.
years.
That's
Wow.
beautiful. That's about 20% of the story. 20%.
Look, I know it. I know it is. I know it is. I know it's some more to this story.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
We're grateful for where we are. And even when we left Germany and getting over here, we really were grateful. You
Yeah.
know that we became more grateful. You know, when you really go through something and you come out on it on the other side.
Thank you,
You
God.
know, and you become more grateful for life and for life in God, and then to still have each other in the midst of all that has happened within these 6 years, and that we still here and we're still standing. You know, we really are and truly are grateful for all that the Lord has done, and we're looking forward to what He's getting ready to do. So
I have a book coming out, a journal book coming out. It's gonna be Joy Unspeakable.
I love it.
So
I absolutely love it.
y'all to connect with me, www.rondalive.com.
Go check her out. Rhonda Live.
Yep.
www.rondalive.com.
Yes.
And that's where you're going to get her book, you're going to get her music, and you're going to get relative ear pitch from her.
Seriously.
And you can book her singing, speaking engagements. It's all there. So go there.
Now, and my last question, so are you pastoring over on this side now, or you're finished with that for now?
So right now I'm not pastoring right now. We just became members of, it's called Harvest Church of God. And so we are serving there. The Lord led us to this beautiful ministry. It's literally a cultural ministry, literally people from like all nations worshiping God under this one roof. And they're beautiful people, and we were excited. We even go there on a Sunday morning. We went there on a Bible study, just to go there and view that Bible study. And so we worship with them doing Bible study, and people were like, "You haven't gone to Sunday morning yet?" I was like, "No, we came to Bible study." Y'all came to Bible study, so yeah. So, but we fell in love with them. They're awesome people. David and Gail Price, they're awesome man and woman of God, and they just love on us, and we love on them. So we're here serving them. They just put us on assignment there literally yesterday. Just told us some things that they want to get done, and they entrusted us to do it in this season. So we're just looking forward to doing that. And whenever the Lord wants me to pastor again, I'm sure He'll open that door wide open, and I just walk right in it. Because a lot of people would have asked me that question. You gonna start something there? And I'm like, nah, I'm just waiting on the Lord, because I'm not that type of person to just jump into anything or start something, and then the Lord has to, to humble me to have. I don't want that testimony, Lord. If the Lord wants me to start something, He'll let me know, and I'll do it His way instead of my way. So.
Well, tell them, please don't get a mic to Rhonda, because they'll never get out of church on Sunday.
Yes, they will. Yes, they will, Bishop.
They won't get out of church. Look, you messed up the whole birthday party. We supposed to be having a birthday party. I go to my car. I come back in. I had to go to my car and get something. I come back in. I was like, are the people gonna be in the floor? I thought we were eating hot dogs and ham.
I don't even think I knew. Did I know I was gonna sing? I don't even know.
I don't think you did. I come in there and I was like, wait a minute. And people were in the back, they was serving hot dogs. They were like, thank you, Tim.
Right.
Thank you, Tim. I said, what in the world just happened? And then I looked up. I said, oh, they've been running the eyes.
Rhonda,
Oh, no.
They've been running the eyes. Listen, I'll give you guys final words and just encourage couples or families or young people or women, men, however you want to do it. Either one of you, both of you, just take a second and just encourage the people about making it and transitions, whatever you want to say. The floor is yours. I'm going to bounce out. I'm going to let you be. Boom.
Oh, he bounced out
really
for real.
did.
Oh, my goodness.
Come on, encouraging.
Oh, well, Bishop, thank you again for letting us be here on today. And definitely want to encourage all of you all to just continue to remain steadfast in God and trust his promises. Whatever his word says, it shall come to pass. I don't care how long you've been waiting. I totally believe that that God will do exactly what he promised and find joy in the wait.
Yeah.
Just find joy in the wait. If I could talk about anything, that's definitely something I learned in Germany, that it really may not come exactly when you want it, but find joy in the wait. Whatever that joy is, you have life, you have health, you have strength. Something I didn't talk about when I was in Germany, I had to have major surgery during the pandemic when Daraje could not be with me in a foreign country having major surgery. But I filled my spirit with the word of God, with songs of faith. And I tell you, when I got into that surgery room, he blessed me with Andrew as my anesthesiologist, Luke as my nurse, and Mary as one of my other therapists. I can't remember all the names, but he filled me with such peace. The word is true. The word is true. Continue to rely on it and find joy in the wait. I'm going to stop talking because I love God. He's never failed me. So, baby, you want to say anything? Thank you, Bishop.
Yes, thank you, Bishop, truly for allowing us this space opportunity. It's an honor to be a part of this. And to you, everyone that's watching and that's watching now on the live and watching on the replay. But if one thing I could leave with you all is listen to really stay in the face of God. Stay in his face. There's a lot of scriptures that come to my mind, but really when we're in his face, when we seek first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, everything else will be added unto you. When and this is something that I've known all my life, but just here recently, I say within the past month, I've been intentional about being in the face of God. Like I'm getting up early in the morning, seeking his face, getting up out of my bed. I may be tired, but I'm getting up 5 o'clock in the morning to go and pray and to seek the face of God. And while I'm doing that, and while I'm seeking his face, he's answering prayers. The things that I'm asking God to do, he's answering them. If not that day, within days later, literally, I'm praying for things for her, for things to happen in her life. And then later on that day, the Lord answers the prayer. And I tell him, like, I literally prayed that prayer this morning. So it's because of me being intentional and being in his space, because he wants us, he wants us to find him. He really does. He wants us to find him. He wants us to be in relationship, good relationship with him. You don't have to be afraid what's going to happen or how you're going to feel. No, you're going to feel safe. You're going to feel secure. So I just want to encourage everyone to get in his space. Be intentional. You may not be an early riser. That's okay. If you're a noonday type person or late in the midnight hour, or right before you go to bed, whatever time it is, as long as you're in his space, and I mean intentional, praying and reading and even going as far as fasting, because those things are still right and pleasing in the Lord's sight. And so if you are intentional about God, he would definitely be intentional with you. So stay in his face.
Y'all pray for us too. Pray for us.
Please do. Please.
Man, I love you guys. It was so good. It is so good. Y'all look at each other like y'all can just bite each other's jaw right off when you're talking. Just like,
Well, Bishop, we are behind the veil.
we are behind the.
Praise Jesus. We thank God.
I love y'all. Thank you all. Thank you so much. You all have what a powerful testimony. And listen, you all support them as much as we know. Just go to www.rondalive.com and connect with her, and then you can connect with relative pitch man, the Prince.
We do a Road to I Do conference summit for those who want to be married.
Yes.
Just what to do while you're dating.
No age limit required.
Yeah. So
listen,
yeah.
Go to church and work.
Right.
Pretty much. I'm virtual church on the couch. Praise Jesus. Let me stop. Anything can happen on the couch. I'm just saying.
I love it. I love you guys. Thank you all. I ain't have no music to play out, so y'all, we going out the way we normally would. Since my music isn't here, I'm Stephen Williams. They call me the good bishop. Nobody's good like our God. Them people over there.
Right.
That's Rhonda and Daraje, the Prince.
The Prince.
The Prince, Austin. And these are soldiers in the army of the Lord. They are soldiers on both sides. I appreciate you for your service, sir. Let me say that.
Thank you.
And then I'm going to say I appreciate you all both for your service.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Anything I can do, you have my gift. My gift is your gift. Anything I can do to help you or push you or assist you, you have my platform. You have my number, sir.
Yes,
so
sir.
Let's make it happen.
Yes,
and
sir.
I'll do whatever I can in Jesus' wonderful name. Y'all, we gotta go.
Thank
Get
y'all.
out of here. Bye, y'all. We'll see you next week on Behind the Veil. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Peace.